Hey everyone, welcome to Becoming Awesome and weekly AWS live stream podcast on AWS's Twitch channel. We are Amazon insiders introducing you to the humans of AWS, and I'm your co-host Ray Thomas. This is episode 5. I can't believe that the first month absolutely flew by real quick. But with the new month, we are introducing you to a new org. So we will be featuring our AWS Industries organization for the month of March. I personally have not worked with this org, so I'm excited to learn more about them. We also have our colleague Chelsea Weiner, who does support the org. She'll be our chat mod for the day, and she will help encourage any questions and actually highlight some of the reactions that we see in the chat. So with that said, would love to turn it over to my amazing co-host, Jenna Lass, for intros.
Thank you. That's tough to follow. Definitely not amazing. Just trying to become awesome and follow the lead of these guests. So, hello. Happy March, viewers. We are creating space this month, as Ray shared, to learn about some new businesses. And it's brought to you by these humans that you see on the screen that we will be chatting with today. We have Janine and Shaun as our guests. We are very much looking forward to getting to know you both personally and professionally. So please be open and please share. And since this month is we're honoring International Women's Day throughout the month. It's just us, Janine, but we've got 2 strong advocates. So we'll spice things up with some International Women's Day trivia. Let's do ladies first for introductions. We'll start with you, Janine. We only know that you are a CSM. For the viewers, that's a customer solutions manager. And what seems to be a very cool business, you are on the media and entertainment business. We're thankful for media and entertainment. Thank you to Twitch. So please introduce yourself and share what you can.
Yeah, thanks, Jenna. So hey, everyone. I am Janine Bailey. I'm a Principal Customer Solutions Manager at AWS. I've been here for almost 5 years now. I lead a team of Customer Solutions Managers known as CSMs for one of our large media customers based out of New York City, which is where I'm located. So as Jenna mentioned, I do work in the media and entertainment space. It's a very exciting industry to work in. No 2 days are the same. We get to work across a large range of diverse problems, solving very interesting customer problems and working backwards from them to deliver really cool tech on AWS. And in terms of what CSMs really do, we engage with a customer at a level where we take delivery of their cloud programs. So we're like the co-pilots in the cockpit with the customer, kind of trying to navigate the cloud journey, trying to figure out where to remove blockers, how to manage risk, how to get to that finish line and to get to launch of a product or a new feature or, just a new innovative way of doing business for our customers. And so we try and get to that finish line in the most prescriptive way, leveraging our best practices at AWS. We've got tons of experience doing this for, many different customers. So it's really exciting. And it is a very ambiguous role, which is great. It's one of the things that I love about this role. So our goals are very much aligned to the customer goals, right? So depending on whether you're in the media industry or in, healthcare and life sciences, your goals are going to be specific to that customer. And so really understanding what that is, from like business priorities to technical challenges to business challenges to solving processes and governance issues, like those are all the neat ways that we can really try and add value for our customers. But then, good intentions are not enough. I'll use the famous Bezos quote. So we use mechanisms, right? So we use mechanisms for everything from from program delivery to governance to scaling, any of our enablement that we help customers kind of build AWS skills across their landscape to really try and navigate that journey and deliver on their priorities. So yeah, I'm excited, and it's always day one, as we say.
That's awesome. Wow, you've got a double whammy, ambiguous role, ambiguous industry, and yet you managed to share with us some really quick solutions and mechanisms, how you do it as well. So thank you. Thank you so much. How about you, Shaun? Let's move over to have you share. We know that you're a senior manager of solutions architecture, and your focus is on industry products. So please help us understand what that all means.
Thanks. Really appreciate being here. So, hi, I'm Shaun. I run a team of product architects here in a group called AWS Industry Products. So we've heard from customers all the time about kind of the greatness of AWS services. They love the fact that they're highly compostable, can put them together in interesting ways, creative ways, and we're delighted to see how the customers assemble them to really solve all sorts of business problems. That said, some of our customers have also shared with us a desire for us to move a little bit up the stack and really focus on kind of more turnkey approaches to business problems they may have within their industry. So these industries range from everything from energy, automotive, clean energies, healthcare, life sciences, which I'm doing a lot of work in right now at the moment, manufacturing, industrials, really kind of everything. So we're understanding what those business problems are that are unique to those industries, and we're trying to work and actually deliver products. So these are full AWS services that are focused on meeting those customers who may not want to, build and assemble all the services together, with approaches that are specifically focused on those types of problems. So very excited about some of the work we've done. We have some things that are in various beta stages and various stages of go live. So hopefully you'll hear from us a lot more in the coming future.
Thank you. That sounds like some really important work. There's one thing, though, that you did not share with the viewers. That's, to be fair, is because they can't see what I can see. And what I can see is on your phone tool, you have some comments about the absurdity of the Oxford comma, that you moonlight as a professional cardboard box disassembler, and you automate things that don't need to be automated. So please share what and
really just a constellation of hobbies. No, so for those that don't know, we have this thing called Phone Tool on the inside. It's basically just a phone book, but nobody uses the phone anymore. So it kind of is a combination of an organizational tree plus a pager system plus how to contact you and everything else. And there's a little blurb in the corner where you can put whatever you want. And that's apparently what mine says. No, so fun story on the inside here. We have a style guide when you do writing. It tells you to use Oxford comma, and people will fuss at you if you don't use the Oxford comma. I personally disagree with the Oxford comma and everything it represents. So we have a value called disagree and commit. So I'm disagreeing strongly and committing to the use of the Oxford comma. And sometimes I leave it out just to be mean. I mean, really, who amongst us aren't professional cardboard box disassemblers these days? I mean, they only give me one trash can and one recycling can. So every single bit of cardboard has got to fit in that recycling bin. I did not expect this when I was growing up, to have that much love of cardboard, but here we are in this world.
It's funny, like cats. I'm so fascinated with cats and cardboard and the amount of hours they can spend playing with it. But awesome.
I take my frustration out on those cardboard boxes. It's very healthy.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, seriously. Before we go a little bit deeper, let's get one trivia question in. And why don't we, this actually is a good one because it's a slash of Women's Day and media. So hopefully we'll have some choosers, viewers. If not, I'm leaning on Janine to take this one in media. The question is, which powerful singer has a song titled Run the World, Girl? Is it Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Rihanna, or Pink?
I'm a music lover, so that's super easy.
I think my singing scared people away. What do we think, Janine?
I vote for Beyonce because I am a huge Beyonce fan, so that gets my vote.
All right, nice job. On a serious note, let's stick with you, Janine, since you're up there on the screen. I see. As a leader, please share with us what you find to be the most rewarding and the most challenging aspect of your role.
So in terms of the most rewarding, I mean, depends on how much time you have, because this can be a lengthy conversation, but I will stick to just a couple of things. So I am super passionate about developing people, and I think that the role of being a leader at Amazon really kind of leans into what my passions are. So we have a leadership principle, which is hire and develop the best. So, when you are promoting people and you're hiring people, it's not just enough that they're hired and and promoted. They also need to be developed in their role. And so growth is a huge part of what we do here. And so there's a huge focus on that. And I just love that. I also love the fact that we can provide guidance and mentorship to folks who are probably underrepresented. So I am a woman in technology. I know that I am underrepresented because I can just look around the room in most rooms that I occupy and see that for myself. And so, when I started back many years ago in tech, I did not see many female leaders. So just being able to be a female leader in technology is just rewarding for me on its own. But then, in terms of like the challenging aspects, I think, when we want to see change, it's a slow growth curve. And I see that, gender equality is one of those things that is a challenging concept for us to really get to and do it in a meaningful way. And so, I'm really committed to changing that, to, instilling change and to also just, working across the aisle. I think having male allies like we see on the Twitch stream today really helps to kind of strengthen those ties. And so sponsorship is super important, having those allies to really provide guidance. And when you look at the sponsorship perspective, I'm thankful that I've had allies in my career that have really helped shape me and help me navigate some of the most difficult challenges. But honestly, you can't do it on your own, right? So building your network, leaning on your peers, establishing those connections, whether it's within Amazon or, across our peers across the industry and across the tech landscape, that's super important. The other thing also, I think, which is important is seeking diverse perspectives. So, I think our aim really is to build inclusive technology, and you can only do that if you're, speaking to folks from different perspectives, right? Diverse perspectives. And then being able to innovate on behalf of our customers. I love working at Amazon, and like I said, no 2 days are the same. But really prioritizing what's important, because you can, we sometimes call it drinking from the fire hose. There's just so much information thrown at you at any given time. And so prioritizing what's important and focusing on those things, whether it's, what's important for our customers, what's important for our team, listening to people, listening to our customers, listening to our team members, and really leaning into, make sure that you're, addressing the high priority things. Not everything that's urgent is the highest priority. And so making sure that you have the data to back up what your decision is and how to prioritize those items is super critical.
Thank you for sharing that. It's funny. I never heard the term drinking from the fire hose before I started Amazon. And then someone sent me the meme of just a young girl, and you see the fire hydrant spraying the face, but it just says data, 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 data. I was like, yes, that's exactly how I feel right now.
Every day. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Shaun, let me turn it over to you. So what would you say is, the hardest part of your job, and if there's anything you would redo, what would that be?
So for redoing, I mean, I kind of think that like implies a lot of backwards thinking, or backwards not in the context of bad thinking, but backwards in terms of look back. I try and view kind of the mistakes, maybe the areas where I'd like to do better, is just opportunities to kind of take note of those and try and apply them to either like, what are the systems and structures that may have led me to make that poor choice, or, to handle that call poorly or something like that. How can I help rectify those? How can I, try and reflect more, or, find peace, or bring it into like meditation practice or something, so that I just can stay focused on the future. So it's a little bit of like a subtle shift, but for me, it helps me not kind of be stuck in mistakes of the past or perceived mistakes in the past. They may not even been mistakes, but perceived problems, and just kind of continuously focusing on delivering your better self every day, hopefully. So it's kind of maybe one, I don't know if I was directly answering the question, but one bit of just kind of like mindset shift I've had. In terms of the hardest part of the job, I think as a leader, time management is always, at least for me, a challenge. I have a fairly large, flat team, and I really believe in the importance of spending time with your team on one-on-one basis. Is really understanding the people, understanding their motivations, their things that excite them about coming into work every day, the things that excite them, just passions in life, right? And if you can set that North Star, people find great ways to be able to link, their belief structures, their passions into every single part of the day. So for me, having the time for one-on-ones, and then making sure I still have enough time to contribute as an individual. One of the things at Amazon generally we like our leaders to actually roll up the sleeves and get to work too. And I think that's really important to lead from the front as well. So just trying to balance that time for me is always a place where at the end of the week I have to check back.
Thank you. Welcome back, GFlow 1911. You're a regular here. I'm beginning to recognize you. So thank you for coming back. And thank you for your question. You should both see it on the screen. How long would you both say you were drinking from the fire hose before you felt comfortable in your role?
I can answer that.
Sure.
I still feel like I'm drinking from the fire hose, but the good news is that you don't need to know everything, right? You need to know enough to be able to be effective in your role and to do to do the right thing for your customer, right? So making sure that you're prioritizing based on data, based on what the customer is asking. And then also I resonate what Shaun just said, having those one-on-ones with your team to really understand what they're trying to achieve and making sure that you're focusing on those right things. You're just constantly going to be drinking from the fire hose unless you prioritize. So the key is really to figure out how, find that medium that really makes sense for you, and really just lean into that. You've got the right support here. So, I feel like I have a good work-life balance, and that's really because, you really own your career here at Amazon and you own your time, right? So what you put in is what you get out. And diving deep is one of our LPs. But diving deep on the things that's necessary and prioritizing those things is, the key that's really helped me focus on the right things.
Let me ask you a quick follow-up question to that. So sometimes you have your priorities set, right? But then you have some blockers. Like is there a mechanism that you use to help remove those blockers, or like what tip do you provide? What works for you?
I find that when we work backwards from whatever the problem is, it starts making sense, and like breaking those down into meaningful actions. Sometimes we get stuck on the problem, and I know we have several discussions around, how do we unblock this? What is the right thing? We listen to folks in the room. And so we really do encourage everyone on the team to have a voice and to provide that perspective. But then we do make data-driven decisions, right? And we do work backwards. We look at, what does this mean in terms of what the customer is trying to achieve on AWS? I'm speaking from AWS specifically. But I think generally we get to making a decision pretty quickly when we know what the customer is trying to do. So having that view, breaking those things down into meaningful actions, I think is the key to moving things forward.
Thank you. Well, that question was for both. So Shaun, I don't know if you have anything that you want to add to that on the fire hose comment.
Yeah, I mean, one of our values is learn and be curious. I find often my curiosity leads to a fire hose I didn't expect. I think just to echo Jenna's comments, right? You got to be able to step back, understand what's the critical information you need, and where can others help with that fire hose consumption, and be able to know the difference between the two. So
Excellent. So we got another question that just popped up. What's something you wish you knew earlier in your career? You want to start, Shaun?
Yeah, earlier in my career, I think I put a lot of time. I guess I'm a preparer by, I guess, personality trait. I put a lot of time into trying to understand, like, what's the career path to success? What kind of steps do I need? I would say that process wasn't entirely useless. I think it's very important to understand kind of where you want to go and what values you have. But I always viewed it, I think, from a context of, money, influence, scale, things like that. And I don't think I put enough time into understanding how to balance the myriad different things in life that are going to be naturally intention, and how to weave that unique path that works for me. And I think early on that probably led me to over-indexing on some parts of my life that I shouldn't. And I think over the time I've started to learn to not do that, and really to spend the time understanding what you value out of life.
Yeah, I'm seeing the theme from what you mentioned earlier. Self-reflection and self-awareness is a superpower, and it seems to me that you have to go back and you're thinking about what you could have
You
done
can't get stuck
better,
there.
right?
You have to take the inventory and move forward. That's the key.
I agree. Thank you.
Can we leave Shaun up for a moment? You talked very interestingly around the importance for you to really know the people on your team and spending time with them. And since we're honoring International Women's Day this month, I just want to probe a little bit around your thoughts of inclusion. When we hear about inclusion, the importance of belonging, are these different things, one of the same? And maybe you can share an example of how inclusion and belonging has shaped your career, maybe your perspective on managing people of different backgrounds.
Sure. Yeah, I think we can spend a lot of time talking about inclusion, belonging, words and meanings and intonations about words and all of that. I mean, if I kind of look in a more textual sense, I think many people could say they're included in many things, whether they're meetings, family structures, organizations, etc. Whether they feel like they belong in those is often a different question. Or some people take the word belonging and say, oh, I belong to these things, so I feel included when I'm in them. So I think for me, I just kind of like try and zoom out of the precise verbiage kind of conversations and move more into kind of what the underlying meaning is. And the underlying meaning to me is I am part of something. Do I feel like I can bring my best self into that something? And do I feel that when I bring my best self into that something, that people will respect and value, or be intellectually curious enough to actually learn more about why I have those perspectives and thoughts? And so I can't quite remember the second part of your question, but I think it was to the effect of like, how does that influence you? And to me, it's trying to create the, like, in one-on-ones, in interactions, in meetings, trying to approach those from a place of intellectual curiosity, rather. And if I do that, then things that don't make sense to me, the natural kind of follow-on questions are one of inclusive. I would like to learn more about how you came to that. I would learn about, your experience that led you to that intuition. And by doing that, I think, one, I grow as a person, and two, I think by nature, if you're doing that, people will feel like there's a place that's respective and inclusive. And I think that's ultimately, if you bring that diverse set of people together with different backgrounds, it's how you get to the best outcomes. It's also just how to make the workplace a nicer place to work in.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That sounds very comforting. So thank you so much for sharing that. Janine, let's zoom into you. You on your link, I mean, you talked a little bit about it earlier. I also see it on your LinkedIn profile that you're a passionate supporter of women in technology. Do you have anything that you may want to be able to share for the viewers, especially for the female viewers out there, on career advice?
Yeah, so I mean, I think one of the mistakes women in technology make is, I'll talk about my own experience, early on is that lack of confidence in owning your space and owning your seat at the table. I am lucky to be in an organization in media and entertainment at AWS where we have a disproportionate number of female leaders. And so coming in, I will be honest, I was a bit skeptical and I thought, oh gosh, this is not going to be a good idea. This dynamic's not going to work, because I've had situations in the past where women in technology feel like there's only a seat or a place for one of us at the table. And so there was a lot of really negative competition. And so coming into this organization and feeling the supportive nature and feeling the fact that I'm sponsored, across women that I work with, across the males that I work with, we have allies, we have sponsorship and mentorship. And so it's really about the leadership. And I feel like we really have come a long way at AWS, especially within our media and entertainment unit, to really grow female leaders and really strong female leaders, that are, killing it in the industry, like really doing well. So I feel really proud about that fact. But I will say that, it is a slow curve and we need to keep kind of pushing the envelope and making sure that, women in technology are seen and heard and occupy space.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, on that note, I'm going to take us to a next trivia question. I think that actually aligns really well with what you just shared. What does anybody know what the theme for International Women's Day 2023 is? 4 choices. A, innovation and technology for gender equality. B, women in leadership, achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. Choose to challenge. Or D, women's rights or human rights.
All right, we popped the question right up on the screen.
Yeah,
give it a few seconds.
All the answers look like they're merging together, though.
It's all right. So innovation and technology, gender equality, achieving equal rights. I think it should be all of the above, to be honest. So, all right, what is the answer?
I have, I think Janine actually weaved it in without even realizing it, but it is innovation and technology for gender equality.
Awesome.
That's the theme. Yeah.
All right, great. So yeah, we have about 1 minute left. So just want to take this time to thank both Janine and Shaun for joining Jenna and I, and also Chelsea for helping being a chat mod. I'll quickly pop you up on video. You can wave hello. But really appreciate everyone here. I think there's quite a few interesting nuggets that people could take away. And we look forward to sharing this broadcast, through our various channels. We have our link tree that we'll share for you to be able to choose a platform of your choosing to consume the content from our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn page, Instagram, and TikTok for shorts, and we're gonna go from there. So one last thing, we have another episode tomorrow, special edition for International Women's Day. I'm actually rocking my shirt, Embrace Equity. So I'm really excited about that. Take a look. It'll be at 9:30 a.m. PST. Looking forward to meeting you all there. So again, have a great one. See you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you both. Thank you, Shelley.